Hello, my friends. Hello. Welcome to a live stream with Rachel Archelaus, an intimate alien, and Carrie Roldan, your business BFF. Which, by the way, if you have been wanting to coach with Carrie, she has an opening right now. So hit us up. You can reply to the email that you found this live stream on, and we'll get you hooked up together. So also subscribe to this channel if you haven't subscribed. Honestly, we have really big things in the works. And so I know it's a vanity metric, but if you can raise our numbers up, we would greatly appreciate it. So thank you so much in advance. Well, what are we here for today? Sort of a big question that we've all had at one point. Why am I here? Why am I on Earth? Why am I alive? It's my belief that we all chose to be here and chose our specific lives, our specific parents, the themes of our lives. But I've never actually heard Intimate Alien go into length about her viewpoint of this. So I'm excited she chose this topic. And yeah, if you have questions about this, put it in the chat. We already have a question that came in from email through Dale. Thank you so much, Dale. And yeah, so Carrie, what's up?
I mean so much, and I'm grateful that we're having this conversation today. I think sometimes we can get on this channel and we can ask Intimate Alien, like, I don't know, nitpicky little questions about our lives. And so going like big is always helpful for me. Like going big picture is super helpful for me. So I am excited to dive in as always and find out what Intimate Alien has to say. And yes, for those of you watching, comments are open. Say hello, say that you're here. And I'm super excited. We have a question from Dale already. If you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. I have a feeling that today will be, I'm already yawning. So today will be like full of big ahas, probably lots of yawns for me. And just really, really good stuff, which is a reminder. Rachel has her water. I have my water. When that happens, like it's always good to have this nearby. So yeah, I'm excited to dive in. I'm assuming Intimate Alien is also very excited to dive in.
Always, yes. In fact, she's already uncrossing my legs, which if you, I don't know, none of you really know me in person, but like I'm always sitting cross-legged in my chair. She's the only one that gets me to put my feet on the floor.
Because if you don't know, Rachel is short and her feet don't reach the floor.
Yeah, unless my chair is super low. Okay. It's funny, it's an autistic trait too, that we all sit cross-legged. I know, the silliest things. Okay. I will tell Carrie Dale's question.
Okay.
And get Intimate Alien, and you all can formulate your own question. So Dale's question was like, is there a big reason that we're all here in general? And then do we all have our own personal reason as well?
Okay.
So that was a really great question. Oh, and so many of you are coming in. Hello. Introduce yourself in the chat. Oh, hello. Wow, your planet is different. Have you noticed that the current has changed? You might not recognize your currents, but when we were vibing with Rachel just now, felt this swirling motion. That is, it's sort of in a different direction than normal. This is a juicy time to be alive right now. So we will sure speak about that if you'd like.
Yes, I was going to say more, please, because I think we have been noticing shifts and things that are happening and things are speeding up. But tell us, what does it feel like and what do we need to know?
Well, it's maybe we will call it a slipstream. We don't know what that means to you, but like let's say there is a river a river, but on the sides of the river are all of these little swirls. You can be in the center and sort of shoot down, go very fast by these little currents. But if you get caught up in a little current, it's going to feel excruciatingly terrible. We will say that. You're circulating in your own mess for a little while. You will come back out. But right now, it's either fast good or really terrible stagnation. How does that feel?
Accurate.
Oh, great. Mm.
Okay, so this is just a personal question. I've been feeling fast good for quite some time, and today I am feeling a really terrible stagnation. I feel like I probably know the answer, but hit it, give it to me again.
Okay, this is easy. This is easy. Okay, do you know how deep the river is on the sides?
Not very deep.
Not very deep. So what can you do? Stand up. Walk yourself into the middle.
Okay.
Stand up. Rise above. Rise above. Get your head out of the mess. Right?
Okay.
Change your location. Change your location. It feels bad where you are, so move.
All right. I love that too. That reminds me of probably a video that we've all seen on YouTube or TikTok or one of those places where it's a little kid and he's in the water and he's screaming. He's terrified because he can't swim and he like no one's coming to save him and people are yelling, just stand up, stand up. And then he stands up, he's like, oh, okay.
Oh, yes, yes. I know. It feels like you can't, like that child. It didn't occur to him. But you have me telling you to stand up. Stand up. Yes, it's okay. You are okay. You are okay. More than okay.
Okay. Well then, anything else before we move into Dale's question? And hi, Norman. I see that you're here. Thank you for.
Norman is here. We love Norman.
Well, apparently Norman loves you as well. But before we dive into Dale's questions, anything else we need to know about this energy on the planet and the fast moving river and the little swirlies on the side?
Yes, do not lose faith in yourself. Do not lose faith in yourself. Oh my goodness. I wish you could see what I see. You can feel it. You can see it, of course, but it's a little more difficult from where you are standing. But okay, let's make another metaphor. You are at the Grand Canyon, okay? Lots of cliffs. You can't really see all the way to the bottom. It's dangerous, right? It feels like, oh, if I take a wrong step, I'm toast. But what's actually happening is that you are going to take a step. You are going to go really fast to the bottom. But what is at the bottom? A paradise. A paradise. Rachel's been bringing up that word, paradise. Oh. You're shaking off your resistance. You're shaking it off like a dog, right? Those swirls are you spinning, getting rid of all of the crap you've been carrying. And so do not judge yourself if you're finding yourself in a hard spot right now, because that's the cliff. That's the cliff. You've created your paradise. You so desperately want to be in it, but you cannot bring your baggage with you. You can't be in two places at once. It's one or the other. And you can't bring your baggage to paradise. So you have to let it go. So you're giving yourselves opportunities to find it and let it go. But letting it go just means, oh, I'm standing up, I'm moving, I'm leaving it here. So it's still look in the direction that you want to be. It's still find a way to feel better. It's still all the same easy things we've been talking about. It doesn't feel easy, but it is. So we will say that.
All right, I'm taking notes as fast as I can. You said something that I had a question for you earlier that I didn't send in because I knew I'd be talking to you, but I think it's perfect for right now, which is you said, if you could only see what I see. And that's what I was really curious. Like this is a bit of a childish question, but intimate alien, can you see the future?
Of course. Of course. You can too. But from where you have chosen to position yourselves as human beings, it's just less obvious for you, right? You know who you are. You know what you're meant for. You can feel your vortex. You can feel your potential. A lot of you can see the future, but you are using filters to make sense of that information, right? So you're sort of looking up at the future, whereas I'm sort of looking down at the future for you. So it's just easier for me to see because I don't have those filters and I don't have those limitations that you've all built in.
Okay. That one made me yawn. It made me think about like people have prophetic dreams or people who have like, is that what we were talking about when you say we can see our future?
Well, you don't need a dream, but yes, you can. I mean, you are all psychic. You are all connected to all that is, right? You all can have had glimpses of things, whether in a dream or a daydream or just conjuring it on purpose. So we're not saying you are limited in your abilities. We're just saying that it's a different viewpoint. That's all.
So I think this kind of leads us into Dale's questions because she was asking, is there a reason we're all here on this planet? And then are there individual reasons why we are here? And I know when I first met Rachel, that was all I wanted to know, right? Is like, what is my singular purpose? So I'm super curious as to your answers.
Okay. This is the best that I can come up with as a term. This is your fantasy camp. Does that ring a bell? Do you know what that means?
A little bit, yes. It rings a bell.
Yeah, so you were non-physical, omniscient beings who could create anything just like that, go anywhere, be anything, see anyone. Why would you leave that, right? Well, you wanted to experience more of yourself. How can I feel in a new way? How can I create in a different way with different parameters? How can I challenge myself? How can I feel more specific? Right? You wanted to be more specific in your experiences because omniscient you, only love, only bliss, only harmony, only very slightly differentiated. So this you could not do. This you could not do, right? You couldn't call people on a telephone. You couldn't create your own business. There is no business where you are from. You couldn't have money. You could not purchase things. You could not grow things, really. You could not eat for sure. I still can't do that. So how can you experience basically being in your own reality in a way that tricks you into thinking it's real? That's why you're here. So you created a life that would allow you to play out your fantasy of physical reality. This is your fantasy. This is why you're here. So we understand that you would not necessarily consciously choose all of the things that you've experienced so far. But if you think about it, do you only go see movies that feel good 100% of the time? Or do you like to spice it up and go to a scary movie or a dangerous movie? Or, what do you like to watch? So we just want you to take in for one moment before your mind goes haywire that this is your fantasy realized.
All right, guys. So let that sink in as I let that sink in. Because when I hear these conversations come up with Abraham, it's always like, but I wouldn't have chosen this. Um, and yet I hear you talking about, I remember, I'm not going to know how to describe this except to say, um, when I remember it being described to me somehow that, when you're watching a movie, it's not real. The feelings that you have are real. Like you get to experience those real feelings, but that it's just a movie. And I'm wondering if that's kind of what you're saying to this, like that I get to experience all these feelings, but I know it's just fantasy camp. My higher self knows that it's just fantasy camp. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I am saying that you've inserted yourself into a place where there are no consequences. There are no consequences here. We're having a high level discussion with you. Can you tell?
Yeah, because I'm like, I feel consequences. So
You feel consequences, but see, this is why.
because now I'm like, what about karma? Is karma real? Like, what's up with that?
Karma is not real. It's just another way to describe the law of attraction.
Okay.
So how you feel is what you get. Right? I was looking for Rachel's pyramid, but I cannot see it. Oh, there it is. So this little sliver of a top right here, this very point of the top, is you in physical form. But you're not even physical. None of this is physical. It's light. It's a projection of light. It's a hologram. You are a projection of light, and your reality is a projection of light. That's how you can so easily create it and then create something else. So if anything happens to this little tiny sliver of a point, it's not a big deal. You, even when you die, you don't go anywhere. You are a non-physical being through and through. And you are the same you, whether you have a body or not. I don't have a body most of the time. I use Rachel's occasionally, right? I don't die when I'm not here. I'm alive, right? Until I don't want to be. And then I move to a different dimension, different state, but I'm always me. You are always you. and you get to choose where you go, and you get to choose what form you take. So there are no consequences here. And we're not going to say that there are, because you are ready for this. You are ready to know your truth. You are ready to be your truth. You are ready. You're ready. And at the same time, your higher self is very aware of your current belief systems, very aware that you still need to pay for things, very aware that if you skin your knee, you will need a band-aid. So me having this conversation with you will not harm you, okay? Because your higher self is still working within your parameters. But me having this conversation with you will help you loosen up the glue that's keeping your life so the same. All right? You want big leaps forward. You want big experiences. You want new things. You want your powerful self to be present with you. That's what I'm helping you to do right now.
Okay.
Because you are now aware that your real fantasy is different from the one you've lived so far, right? Yes. And I know you are capable of living into it more.
You got me yawning. And I'm betting you have a lot of other people nodding, like with this realization that, okay, which I hear Abraham's talking about, like, why are you arguing for your limitations?
Correct.
Right? Like, okay, if I have the ability to create whatever I want, why have I created this? Right? Or, wow, if I can really create whatever I want, what can I allow myself to want?
That's the better way to go, right? Stand up. If you're having a fight with yourself right now, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. Why did I experience that? Stand up out of the puddle. Okay, stand up out of that current. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You created it because that's what you wanted to experience. Rachel says, she did not make this term up, but she did share it with Carrie. Type 2 fun. Type 2 fun. Some people enjoy a challenge. Some people enjoy feeling pain. Some people enjoy really weird things. Okay, really weird things. And that's what part of what you wanted to experience on this planet. But now you are embodied. You get to choose. Your life is not predetermined for you. You get to stand up and make new choices.
All right. I love the idea of this. And I am very much feeling into like the practical implications for myself. And I'm noticing how I am still resistant to standing up. Like, I,
Momentum. It's okay.
yes, it's fascinating that, um, like the kid in the video, I think he's holding onto a rope or something. So he has like just enough safety. Like he's terrified. He wants someone to come out and help him, but he's safe enough that he's able to like kick and scream and look around and like say how terrified he is. I'm feeling a little bit of that right now, like knowing just stand up and also being like, I just want to hang onto this rope and kick and scream for a little while longer.
Well, at least now you are doing it with some consciousness. And that means the momentum is fading, right? So let yourself have a transition. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like waking up and not immediately jumping out of bed. Rachel likes to lay there for a while. She likes to have a transition.
That got me yawning. All right, so let's go back to Dale's question because we sort of answered the first question. or the second question. We kind of answered both, but let's just get clarity.
Okay.
Why I feel like Rachel and I have had these discussions before about why these souls are embodied on the planet at this time. So when we talk about Dale's question is like, why are we all here? I guess I want to ask that the answer to that seems like fantasy camp. You're all here for fantasy camp. And you just said the energy on the planet is shifting, like things feel different. So why are we here right now?
One moment. Rachel is pointing something out. She wants to get the drawing for the year. Oh, maybe she thought she saw it, but it wasn't actually that. It doesn't matter. Why are you here? Why are you all here? Why are you individually here? Okay, stick with me because Rachel's body is about to burst open. Why are you here? Why does anyone go to fantasy camp? To live out their fantasy, right? To have fun, to have so much fun that it's worth a special trip, to have so much enjoyment that it's worth the travel, right? It's worth changing locations. It's worth the awkwardness of being a baby and a little kid and then an adult, right? It's worth it because you don't get this feeling anywhere else. Nowhere else in the universe can you feel what you feel on this planet. You have created a utopia, okay? A utopia, which you are not usually living in, but you can. It's available to you. And it is magical. Magical. So you look up to the unicorns, you look up to the fairies, you look up to Pleiadians, let's say, angels, all of these wonderful, amazing beings who've moved past the dimensions you are familiar with. All they have done is the same thing you're doing right now. Okay, they've chosen to keep evolving. They've chosen to keep living into their fantasy camp. They've chosen to keep feeling good and being more of themselves to the point where then they are not able to go back. All of their baggage is gone. They are simply higher dimensional beings from that point forward. So that is where your ascension comes in. So that is your intention, but do not look to anyone else to make sure they are on the same page, right? Your ascension is yours. It doesn't matter. It doesn't need to be global. Okay, we'll say it like that. So you are all here for the same reason, but everyone's fantasy camp will be different. So that is what we would say. And you, the people I am talking to now, you are here because you wanted to feel the love and expansion and joy and fulfillment that you can feel in your bodies here.
I'm writing those words down. Love, expansion, joy, fulfillment.
And, because it's your fantasy camp, you don't need to judge anything that you want to play with here. There is nothing that's not spiritual. Okay, so just let go of whatever your preferences are perfect. Whatever makes you happy is perfect. There's nothing you need to avoid or go towards. Don't manipulate yourself into a direction. Your authentic likes and dislikes, that's the reason you're here.
I'm just going to say that back for myself. The reason we're here is to feel into the love, expansion, joy, and fulfillment, and that our authentic likes and dislikes are the reason that we are here. So, this is just point of clarification. Why are our dislikes part of why we are here?
Because you don't get to have dislikes anywhere else.
Right.
Because they point you in the direction of what you do like.
It also just makes me think about like when you smell something and you're like, "Ooh, this stinks, smell it." Like even though even though you don't you dislike it, you still experience it.
Yes.
Interesting.
Then you have a story, right? A story to tell. I smelled the worst thing the other day.
Okay. So I feel like you've answered. Well, I'm going to go back to the question of purpose. I think that you've answered it, but just clarification. So you're here. Lots of us feel like we have a purpose or a destiny, even that we've, and then maybe that leads to like, I started asking you questions about can you see the future? So if we sense what we think our destiny is that true?
Yes, because you're feeling what's already been created. So at the same time that you have free will, you also have the reality of time, which is that there's only this one moment, right? So you've already lived your life. You're just playing it out right now. And you can fork off and choose differently, right? All possibilities are present. But what you're feeling is the most resonant version for you. And so that's what you're feeling. Have you noticed that you lose that sense of purpose when you don't feel good? Where did it go? You're not resonant with it anymore. Feel better, there it is.
Well, that's what I was thinking about. I was thinking about the stories that we tell ourselves. And, when I was speaking of a sense of destiny, it was like, it was this excited, what's possible sort of destiny. But it helped saying it out loud and listening to you answer made me think about people who have the story of, I'm destined to be miserable. Um, and I'm guessing that's not why they're here.
See, but this is where you all get into trouble because it doesn't matter. They're still the same big non-physical being that only loves and is joy and bliss and choice. So that's why it's hard for you to look around and see suffering and still remain in your amazing place, but it doesn't have anything to do with you, and it really doesn't have anything to do with who they really are. So if you start seeing people as their whole full self, it might help you out a lot.
That actually does help out a lot. Okay, next question. You talked about ascension. By the way, you guys, I'm asking all the questions, but feel free, put them in the chat. I will just keep asking. You talked about ascension, and that I've never much thought about that. So I'm confused. Rachel and I have had conversations about what happens after you die, right? And that you don't really go anywhere and that you're still here. And we've gotten to talk with friends who have passed away or crossed over, or however you want to say it. But this idea that, so if I'm hearing you correctly, I can choose to become a unicorn. Oh, I'm going to get up and close the door. Someone just got home, but I can hear
Okay.
you.
All right. So, well, we were talking that the unicorns have ascended. They were an example, just like the fairies, just like a lot of other mystical beings that you like. So you aren't like you came in as a human right now. You could join the unicorn collective at some point, but not as a human, right? So does that answer your question? We were a little confused.
I mean, I think so. I just hadn't given it a lot of thought. So, like, I know Rachel has told me that, like, I have a lot of angelic energy, but not a lot of like fairy energy. And I know Rachel's got a lot of Palladian energy, and Rachel has a lot of all the energies. But I guess that's what I'm asking is like, at some point, do I ascend and am I destined to become an angel? Or is this just like,
Oh, okay. Well, you are pulling in angel energy now. So you could choose to become an angel. There's a part of your energy that's angelic, right? So we're also looking at this from the very tip of the fingers of who you really are. So if you go up a little bit and you join your oversoul, you've got lots more energy in there that you are as well. You are multiple beings at once, right? And then you are part of source, so you are all things at once. So this idea of differentiation only goes so far. It's what you're playing with the most right now, but you can choose to go and be that way in another form, right? Another race, if you will. And then, but you are absolutely all things at all times as well. You have full choice, is all we are saying. You have full choice.
okay? That makes a lot of sense and blows my mind at the same time. So I will just nod. Um, I have another question that these are just coming rapid fire now, and that is around earlier I referenced Abraham, and I think a lot of our viewers know about Abraham Hicks. And I understand that you guys are similar, but not the same. Primarily, Abraham refers to themselves as we, and you refer to yourself as I. Um,
Well, we have done both. See, we do use we quite often, actually, but also an I. So it's both. But you're right. As a whole, I am not Abraham. Abraham is different, but like we just said, we're all part of Abraham. So we are part of Abraham as well. The truth is, everyone can have their own truth, but there is quite a convergence of what that truth is. And so the higher up in dimension you get, the more you are living in that, the laws of the universe, as Abraham says. So it's just the code that we all live by. So it's easy for us to tap into, just as it's easy for Abraham to tap into.
I hear that. I understand that. I feel I don't know if you guys watching are getting that, but um I do. I understand that. Um I'm grateful for Rachel and for Esther who are adept at bringing you guys in. But I do get that. Okay. I'm speechless. I'm out of questions. So what do you got? Who are you? Rachel Archelaus, intimate alien. Um, what do you have for us in terms of as we're looking at our last like 15 or 20 minutes together? What are you hoping to impart on people who are watching?
We are realizing that we keep getting stronger in our messages to you on these live streams. And it might take some time for you to feel this one for sure. Because what are we actually doing? We're rattling your resistance pretty hard. We're saying it doesn't matter. We're saying, look ahead. Look at who you really are. instead of who you've been. And a lot of you are very emotionally tied to who you've been and fear that you lose yourself if you just look ahead. So we want to acknowledge that, we understand that, and that you never lose yourself. Your truth is inherent in you. It's just like if you were to chop off your arm, you wouldn't lose all your DNA. It's in every cell of your body. So you don't lose yourself by standing up out of your mess and looking forward. That's what we want to assure you of. And then secondly, we want to assure you that thinking more about your ideal version of life will result, as long as you're thinking about it positively, feeling the juices of it, will result in that becoming true. Looking ahead, daydreaming, feeling the version of life you wish to be true will result in it coming true. And you can't know that yet. Until you're there, you can't really know that. So it's an act of faith, really, to put attention where it feels better. Stop feeding that current that's keeping you swirling around. And we've come to you from dimensions away, light years away, to tell you that it's worth it. It's worth it to feel better. It's worth it to look where you want to go. It's worth it to imagine life as you wish it was. It's worth it to stand up out of your resistance, because the amount of joy and abundance and freedom and love that you can feel on this planet is unlimited, because you're not limited by the dimensions you think you live in. You are an ascending being. You are in a place where you can, once and for all, no longer experience any, what was I going to even say? See, it doesn't exist here. Only well-being exists. Only well-being exists. And you have that opportunity. And we will keep telling you that you have the opportunity to exist only in well-being until you actually go, because that's why you've called me here.
You got me yawning. You said something earlier that made me think of something, but I forgot it. But the last thing that you said, I think that there is an assumption in our humanness that in order to exist only in well-being, we have to die.
Not true. Like I said, you're not even physical now, so it doesn't matter, right? You're still going to be a light being. You'll be here. You'll be amongst your loved ones. It's okay. You won't poof out of existence. Rachel used to think she might just poof out one day here and there. It might still happen, but so far it's okay.
Okay. I'm wondering, like the rest of you, I too feel like what you said. So I often feel this way when you and I are on calls together, because I'm I'm trying to receive as much as I can. And I'm also aware that we're live streaming and other people might have questions, right? Like I'm in my head a little bit. The last few times, like I've just, after a certain point, like I just shut down and lose words. But I am feeling that, especially today, like everything that you said, I want to hear it. I am hearing it like on the surface. And I just got really tired even just saying that. Like I very much look forward to integrating all of it. And just on a personal note, the standing up for me, and so maybe for anybody who's watching, it does feel scary to stand up. It feels scary to, um, even though I know when I stand up, I'm going to see the situation clearly. When I stand up, I'm going to be able to see beyond like the water swirling in my face. When I stand up, I'll be able to recognize, oh, I'm literally only up to my shins. I recognize that. And um, I think you hit it on the head when you said there is a fear of, you said loss of self. I don't think I'll lose myself. There's just a fear of loss of whatever it is, whatever I'm hanging on to. There's a fear of loss there. And so I really appreciate the idea of daydreaming into recognizing that, like, oh, I don't have to lose the things that I like in order to lose the things that I don't like.
Yes.
So thank you for that. You got me all teary today and a little bit of snot. So
Excellent combination. See, only you can experience this on Earth. So there you go. Yes. We are done. We are done. Yes.
all
We will
right.
give it back to Rachel, but we are glad any of you are still here. This was a very powerful transmission today. You are in a master class right now, and we want to congratulate you if you've been able to stick around. We would recommend taking a nap, putting our feet in some water perhaps, drinking some water, eating some salt today, and then listening again. Listen again when you've had some space. Listen as many times as you wish, because you've had a lifetime of people telling you you are not unlimited, you are not powerful. So it will take a little time to remind yourself, wait, I am unlimited and I am powerful. So give yourself that transition time, but feed yourself in the direction that you wish to go.
One more question before you go. Why the feet in water? Why the salt?
Well, because you're in a machine right now, right? You're in a broadcasting and receiving machine. You're an electric magnetic machine. And so all of those things just help your system move more seamlessly.
All right. I will do it.
Excellent. Okay, everyone, we love you. And Norman, you are our only comment today. We love you again. And thank you, everyone, for watching. And our new show comes out in a few weeks. So please watch and check back, because that's exactly what we will help you do, to wake up in alignment and have a wonderful day. Okay,
I'm
everyone,
excited.
bye for now.
Bye, Intimate Alien.
Whew, okay, wow.
How was that for you?
That was the most energy she's ever sent through my body, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I'm not bursting out in tears right now. I feel like,
That's what she said. Rachel's body's going to burst. I was like,
oh, she did say that. You're right. You're right. Wow. Holy, you know what? I literally feel like there's a column of light here still. Like I can barely see you.
I remember you did a drawing about that. The column of light. I don't remember the whole drawing, but I remember once there was a drawing about being in that. Okay. So I don't know if anybody's interested, but we got 10 minutes, so I'm going to keep talking. So this today hit hard for me. And I know Intimate Alien, right? One of the things that freaked me out about her early on is I felt like she could see right through me, and I did not want to be seen through. Now I feel like she can see right through me, and it's less scary. It's interesting because I think before, if she saw through me, I was afraid if she would see that I was a fraud, right? She would see that I was not who I thought I was going to be. And of course, ironically, she's like, "Hey, who you think you are that."
Yeah.
Like, and so that is actually helpful right now. I'm when I spend time in Intimate Alien's presence, I feel like she's like, you're amazing. Everything you want, you can have. And so that feels really good. I think before I thought she was going to say like, don't dream that big, kid. You're not, like you're not made for that. So, anyways, but today I am receiving, actually, it's not just today. It's been maybe all week. I am receiving the truth and the lie. And so like I was going to ask her, it didn't come up, but there was a thing that came up that went away, which has to do with like Christianity and the idea of sin or Satan or what that is. And I'm not going quite there, but the idea of like the truth of like your desired destiny and the lie of whatever limiting story that you're telling yourself. I feel like I've been feeling the bigness of those things in equal parts. So the true feels even more true and even more real and tangible. And the lie feels even more true and even more real and tangible. And so it's funny that the answer is just stand up, just feel better, just relax. And it's funny that I know that. And yet I'm still experiencing such big resistance. And I know that so many other people are experiencing that too right now. Like there has been a theme of upheaval in a lot of lives right now. And so I heard her saying like, yeah, that's for the best. Everyone's going to stand up. Still.
I know. I mean, as a human, sort of, I'm sort of human.
Part human.
Part human, plain human. She kept it high today. She kept it really high. And the thing is, that's what we want. That's what we want when we're kicking and screaming about how there's, destruction on the planet and bad things happening. And we're just digging that hole even deeper. We're not helping it, we're not helping to clean anything up. So it takes a lot to stand up, a lot to stand up. And like, we can stand up in certain things first. We don't have to do it all at the same time, like, I think obviously being gentle with ourselves is number one, because we don't want to create a deeper, faster current, but I also think like we're ready for this. I know I'm ready for this. And I know I've been having those, swirling thoughts lately in certain areas and then I would realize like, what am I doing? What am I thinking about? Why am I thinking that? Like, and if I just looked at my current reality, my circumstances right now, I could argue that those swirling thoughts were true. But I know I'm a bigger being than that. And my current reality is only a reflection of those thoughts that I didn't even know were there. That's the thing, you guys. If you're hearing your thoughts right now, they've been there all along. They are what created this current reality that you're comparing it to and being like, well, that's my truth. That's real. But if you can hear them, they're less real. They're less playing a part. And so just doing the final step of being like, okay, they were hidden. Now I hear them. Now I don't agree with them. And now I'm standing up out of them. You are then free to take a step in the direction you want to go. And your reality is going to change quickly after that. So it will be more true to what you really know. But we've got to do the physical part first, because the energetic part is already done. I shouldn't even say we have to do the physical first. The physical is last. We think it's first because the reality hasn't changed yet, but that's our job. We got to line up with our truth, and then the physical can change really quickly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's hitting me. I'm not going to go into all the details on here, but Rachel, my my current like circumstance, and I feel like I've been getting nudges for a while. right? Like I've been getting nudges to like stand up for a while.
Mhm.
But I haven't been standing up because I'm like, "Oh, no, it's pretty good." And because, like, things are getting better enough or things like that I'm like, "Oh, it's pretty good." And I feel like this is happening for me and a lot of people right now where our lives are, like, smacking us. Like,
Mhm.
stand up. Just stand up. So, yeah, that is helpful. I also think, at least for me, there's a little bit of like, even though it's I feel it inside of me as a childishness, as a like a childish stubbornness. Um, and I got a yawn out of you on that one. But like, what if, even though I know if I stand up, it will be better, what if I stand up and it's not better? Right? There's just like that, there's a little bit of that going on. So, anyways, I am going to take Intimate Aliens advice. I'm going to stick my feet in the pool right now. I'm going to eat myself some salty food or something. um, and remember to stand up because I hope this is helpful for anybody watching. Like, my life just keeps getting better and better and better and better. It really does. And and we're human and we experience contrast. And this just is this transmission from Intimate Alien, at least to me, feels like strength. So there we go.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. I feel like I'm still figuring all this is all still percolating. So I'm sure it is for you too. So I don't really have that much to say, except we'll see you next time.
I was gonna say, like and subscribe, join our coaching group, do all the things, you guys. I actually think this is important to say right now. Like, powerful shit is happening.
Mhm.
And it's helpful to lock arms with other people who are experiencing it, talking about it the way that we're talking about it. So if that's you, come join us.
Yeah. Intuitiveart.com/membership. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Rachel.
See y'all tomorrow who are coming to my live chat. Okay. Bye. See, I went to the wrong button. I was going to close